Imagine going 100 days without something you're habituated to. Sounds daunting, right? That's exactly what I aim to do. Hello, I'm Jordan. I decided to set myself a challenge to go 100 days without masturbating. You might ask, why, Jordan? Why would you do that to yourself? Well, let me tell you. I wanted to test my discipline, to explore my own self-control. I wanted to see if I could push my boundaries and break free from a habit that, while normal, was becoming a bit too routine for my liking, and at the end of it, I hoped to gain a deeper sense of self-respect, a stronger will, and a better understanding of my own mind and body. So, are you ready? Join me on this journey as I take you through my highs, lows, urges, and relapses. Day 1 was a breeze, but as the days turned into weeks, the real struggle began. I woke up on day 2, feeling rather optimistic. The initial enthusiasm was still there, the challenge felt novel, and I was riding high on the wave of newfound determination. But by day 7, the urges started to kick in. The mundane moments of solitude were the hardest. It was during these moments that my mind, left to its own devices, would start to wander. Distractions became my best friends. I found solace in books, in music, in fitness. I started going on long walks just to keep my mind occupied. However, by day 15, the distractions weren't enough. There was a constant battle waging within me. Part of me wanted to give in, to surrender to the comfort of old habits. But another part, the part that had initiated this challenge, was screaming to push forward. It was then that I stumbled upon the technique of mindfulness. I started to consciously observe my thoughts and urges, without judgment or reaction. It was a game changer. It didn't make the urges go away, but it gave me the strength to face them head on. Physically, I didn't notice a massive change, but mentally there was a shift. I started to feel a sense of control, a sense of discipline that I hadn't experienced before. The challenge was no longer just about abstinence. It was about mastering my own mind. By day 30, I was exhausted. The highs and lows of the past month had taken a toll on me, but amidst the fatigue, there was a glimmer of pride. I had made it through the first month, through the urges, through the doubts, and through the moments of weakness. I was starting to understand the true nature of this challenge. It wasn't about deprivation, it was about self-discovery. It was about pushing my limits, about understanding my triggers, and about cultivating self-respect. The first month was tough, but I was determined to push through. I knew this journey was far from over, but I was ready. Ready to face the next set of challenges, ready to learn more about myself, and ready to continue this journey of self-discovery. The second month was when the real test began. The novelty had worn off and reality was setting in. Suddenly, this journey wasn't just a fun experiment anymore. I was in the thick of it, battling with my urges on a daily basis. I recall one day in particular, around day 42, the sky was grey, my mood was low, and the urge was stronger than ever. It was like a relentless beast gnawing at my resolve. I almost gave in. Almost. But then I remembered why I started this challenge. I remembered the self-respect I was fighting for, and I found the strength to push through it. As the days rolled on, I found that my mood swings were becoming more pronounced. One minute I'd be on top of the world, the next I'd be in the pits of despair. It was a wild, tumultuous ride, and it was exhausting, but it wasn't all bad. There were moments of clarity, moments where I felt more present and connected than ever before. Moments of victory where I overcame the urge. Moments that reminded me that I was stronger than I ever gave myself credit for. I also began experimenting with new techniques to keep the urges at bay. Exercise became my new best friend. I started meditating. I took up reading again. I tried to fill my time with activities that enriched me, that made me feel good about myself. And slowly, but surely, it started to work. I made changes in my lifestyle too. I started eating healthier, sleeping better. I was drinking more water, spending less time on social media, and more time in nature. I was becoming a better version of myself. There were ups and downs, highs and lows, victories and near defeats. But every time I stumbled, I picked myself up, dusted myself off, and kept going. Because this challenge wasn't just about abstaining from masturbation. It was about proving to myself that I had the discipline, the willpower, the strength to control my own actions. The second month was a roller coaster, but I was still on track. As I entered the third month, I was beginning to see the light at the end of the tunnel. Let me tell you, the journey was no less than a roller coaster ride. Every day was a battle, but every battle won was a step towards victory. The third month brought with it a new set of challenges, but also some noticeable changes. Mentally, I was sharper, more focused. I found myself less distracted, able to concentrate on my work, my hobbies, my life beyond the urges. Physically, I felt a surge of energy that I hadn't felt in a long time. It was as though I was rediscovering my own body, my own potential. The urges, of course, didn't disappear overnight. They were still there, lurking in the corners of my mind, waiting for a moment of weakness. But I had developed new strategies to cope with them. Instead of succumbing to the urges, I channeled that energy into productive activities. I began to exercise regularly, read more, and even picked up a new hobby, painting. It was a distraction, yes, but also a means of expressing myself in a way I hadn't before. There were milestones too, significant ones. For the first time in my adult life, I went a full 2 weeks without succumbing to the urge. It was a small victory, but a victory nonetheless. It was proof that I was capable of change, that I had the strength to fight this. But perhaps the biggest achievement was the shift in my mindset. I no longer viewed this challenge as a punishment, but as a journey towards self-improvement. I was learning to respect myself, to value my own well-being over momentary pleasure. I was learning to be disciplined. There were moments of doubt, moments when I questioned whether I could really do this. But each time, I reminded myself of why I started this journey in the first place. And each time, it gave me the strength to carry on. 3 months in, and I was starting to believe I could actually do this. The last 10 days were a countdown like no other. That's how it felt as I moved closer to the triple-digit mark. Each day brought me closer to the finish line, but also to a new beginning. The anticipation of reaching day 100 was both exciting and nerve-wracking. I found myself reflecting on the journey, the highs, the lows, the urges, the relapses. It was a roller coaster of emotions, but I realized that this challenge was about more than just self-control. It was about self-respect, self-awareness, and self-discovery. Day 100 finally arrived. I felt a sense of accomplishment, but also a sense of relief. It was as if I'd climbed a mountain, and now I was standing at the summit, looking back at the path I'd taken. 100 days without, and I survived. Here's what I've learned. So, what did this 100-day challenge teach me? Well, it taught me more about myself than I could have ever anticipated. It was a journey of self-discovery, self-discipline, and self-respect. I learned that my willpower was stronger than my urges, that I could channel my energy into other productive aspects of my life. It was a test, not just of physical restraint, but of mental fortitude. The power of determination was another key takeaway. There were days when the urge was strong, but my determination was stronger. I learned to respect my body and mind, to not use them as vessels for fleeting pleasure, but as catalysts for meaningful change. As for the future, I plan to continue this lifestyle. Not because it's easy, but because it's worth it. It's a testament to the strength of the human spirit and the power of self-discipline. Remember, it's not about perfection, it's about progress. This was my 100-day journey, and I'm proud of every step I took.